Iran and the United States have had no formal diplomatic relations since April 7, 1980. Instead, Pakistan serves as Iran's protecting power in the United States, while Switzerland serves as the United States protecting power in Iran. Contacts are carried out through the Iranian Interest section of the Pakistani Embassy in Washington, D.C., 1, and the U.S. Interest section of the Swiss Embassy in Tehran. It. In August 2018, Supreme Leader of Iran Ali Khamenei began direct talks with the United States. Relations between the two nations began in the mid to late 19th century, when Iran was known to the West as Persia. Persia was very wary of British and Russian colonial interests during the Great Game. By contrast, the United States was seen as a more trustworthy foreign power, and the Americans Arthur Millspaugh and Morgan Schuster were even appointed treasurers general by the Shahs of the time. During World War II, Persia was invaded by the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union, both U.S. allies, but relations continued to be positive after the war until the later years of the government of Mohammad Mossadegh, who was overthrown by a coup organized by the Central Intelligence Agency and aided by MI6. This was followed by an era of close alliance between Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi's regime and the U.S. government, Persia being one of the U.S.'s closest allies, 4, 5, 6, which was in turn followed by a dramatic reversal and disagreement between the two countries after the 1979 Iranian Revolution. 7. Iranian explanations for the animosity with the United States include the natural and unavoidable conflict between the Islamic system and such an oppressive power as the United States, which is trying to establish a global dictatorship and further its own interests by dominating other nations and trampling on their rights, as well as the United States' support for Israel, the Zionist entity. 8-9. In the West, however, different explanations have been considered, including the Iranian government's need for an external bogeyman to furnish a pretext for domestic repression against pro-democratic forces and to bind the government to its loyal constituency. 10. The United States attributes the worsening of relations to the 1979-81 Iran hostage crisis, Iran's repeated human rights abuses since the Islamic Revolution, different restriction by using spy methods on democratic revolution by U.S., its anti-Western ideology, and its nuclear program. American newspapers in the 1720s were uniformly pro-Iranian, especially during the revolt of Afghan Emir Mahmud Hotak, r. 1722–1725, against the Safavid dynasty. 25. Political relations between Iran, Persia, and the United States began when the Shah of Iran, Nassereddin Shah Qajar, officially dispatched Iran's first ambassador, Mirza Abul Hassan, to Washington, D.C. in 1856. 26. In 1883, Samuel G. W. Benjamin was appointed by the United States as the first official diplomatic envoy to Iran. However, ambassadorial relations were not established until 1944. 26. The first Iranian ambassador to the United States of America was Mirza Albo-Hassan Khan Ilchi Kabir. Justin Perkins and Asahel Grant were the first missionaries dispatched to Iran in 1834 via the American Board of Commissioners for Foreign Missions. The U.S. had little interest in Persian affairs, while U.S. as a trustworthy outsider did not suffer. The Persians again sought the U.S. for help in straightening out its finances after World War I. This mission was opposed by powerful vested interests and eventually was withdrawn with its task incomplete. 27. Amir Kabir, Prime Minister under Nassereddin Shah, also initiated direct contacts with the American government in Washington. By the end of the 19th century, negotiations were underway for an American company to establish a railway system from the Persian Gulf to Tehran. Until World War II, relations between Iran and the United States remained cordial. As a result, many Iranians sympathetic to the Persian constitutional revolution came to view the U.S. as a third force in their struggle to expel British and Russian dominance in Persian affairs. American industrial and business leaders were supportive of Iran's drive to modernize its economy and to expel British and Russian influence from the country. The strained relationship between the United States and Iran stems from a complex interplay of historical grievances, ideological differences, geopolitical rivalries, and divergent strategic interests. One of the pivotal events that significantly deteriorated relations was the 1953 Iranian coup, orchestrated by the CIA, which ousted Iran's democratically elected prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, and reinstated the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. This intervention fueled deep-seated resentment among Iranians towards the United States and set the stage for future animosity. Another flashpoint in U.S.-Iran relations was the 1979 Iranian Revolution and subsequent hostage crisis, during which Iranian revolutionaries seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and held 52 Americans hostage for 444 days. The trauma of this event reverberates to this day, serving as a symbol of anti-American sentiment in Iran and leading to enduring mistrust between the two nations. Moreover, ideological disparities and regional power dynamics have contributed to the strained relationship. The United States' unwavering support for Israel, a staunch adversary of Iran, has exacerbated tensions, with Iran openly backing anti-Israeli groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. Iran's efforts to expand its influence in the Middle East, particularly in conflict-ridden countries like Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen, have further fueled suspicion and competition for regional dominance. Additionally, Iran's nuclear ambitions have been a long-standing source of contention. The United States, along with other Western powers, has expressed concerns over Iran's nuclear program, fearing its potential military applications. Despite the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, JCPOA, which aimed to curb Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief, the U.S. withdrawal from the agreement in 2018 reignited tensions and led to the reimposition of harsh economic sanctions on Iran. Overall, the relationship between the United States and Iran remains fraught with mutual distrust, historical grievances, and conflicting interests, making it a persistent challenge to achieve meaningful diplomatic rapprochement. For more of this type of videos, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Thanks.